Alrighty, friends, thank you so much for joining us here at 13 News at noon. So central Indiana actually saw some overnight rain, just as Sean promised, and it led to a foggy morning. Now it's a bit cloudy outside, but the sun will come out today.
And in some places it's already out here. Every now and then a forecast will work out. We had about 10 school districts on 2-hour delays this morning. Much better improvement since the soupy start we had. I want to show you camera network there. You can see Bainbridge and Connorsville. Here in Indianapolis at this hour, we still have that low cloud deck, but we can actually see the top of the buildings. This morning that was not the case when Matt was with you on Sunrise. One place that's already back in the sunshine, take a look here in Bunker Hill, Miami County. It is a sunny afternoon in progress. The sun may work against us in some locations. You see a few cells there over in Illinois. I'm not going to completely rule out a few pop-ups today, but the coverage will be just that, very hit and miss in nature. The longer the cloud cover stays over your area, the less chance you're going to have of seeing some redevelopment. But we'll be watching this area up across northwestern Indiana. 76 in Peru, where it's been sunny for most of the day here. 75 in Bloomington and 68 with the gray sky here in Indy at this hour. What happens as we go into the afternoon? We'll start to see a brightening sky. It's humid. Dew points are well into the 60s to near 70 degrees. So after school weather, it's about a 20% chance of getting those pop-ups. We got another soaker on the way. We got to talk about how much rain to expect and get you ready for a bright weekend in the forecast.
All right, Sean, thank you. And a months-long debate over a proposed Google data center in Franklin Township is now coming to an apparent end. So the tech giant pulled their proposal right before a critical council vote needed to secure the project. Alex Almanza was at that meeting and got reaction from both sides.
Just minutes before councilors were set to vote on the project, Google threw in the towel. What was supposed to be a $1 billion investment in Franklin Township disappeared in an instant.
And I'd like to announce our intention to withdraw this proposal.
Hundreds of residents cheering after Google dropped the proposal that would have brought a nearly 470-acre data center to town.
We're so happy that this was the right choice tonight.
The project, shrouded in secrecy for a majority of its lifetime, received sharp criticism from residents and both sides of the council.
I think that's the reason why Google withdrew their petition today, is because they've seen how many people came out. In 6 years that I've been on this council, I haven't seen both of these overflow rooms and that room full. That is an amazing testament of what just happened tonight.
It's a hot topic issue that gained opposition from a majority of the council, but also flipped opinions. Franklin Township Schools was originally against the project, but after meeting with Google, the school superintendent said it would bring tax relief stemming from funding shortfalls from Senate Bill 1, though the school didn't share the exact figures that Google provided. Councilor Ron Gibson supported the project. He stands by what would have been a yes vote.
$1 billion is a lot to pass up. And in terms of investment and growing jobs and opportunities for the people in Indianapolis, that's a huge investment to say no to. I would imagine even the opponents today have some reservations about the future in terms of that type of development.
Now, while Google has officially pulled the plug on the petition, it still leaves the door open for them to come back within as early as a few months and start the project back up again in Indianapolis. Alex Almanza, 13 News.
All right, Alex, and this update comes as there is expected to be a meeting this evening with the company pushing to bring a data center to Indy on the northeast side in the Martindale-Brightwood neighborhood. That meeting's at the Frederick Douglass Community Center at 6 p.m. And Governor Mike Braun is making progress in his effort to protect Hoosiers from rising utility rates. Braun is naming 3 individuals to the nominating committee of the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission. So this group makes decisions in the public interest, making sure companies provide safe and reliable utility service at reasonable rates. Now, with that committee in place, Braun says applications are now open for 3 IURC commissioner vacancies. He's encouraging entrepreneurial candidates to apply, and he says applicants must be able to work objectively in the best interest of Hoosier ratepayers.
Together, we will ensure that energy progress doesn't come at the expense of Hoosier ratepayers' ability to afford their energy bills.
The nominated committee will be reviewing applications and passing recommendations along to Governor Braun. And a Shelbyville mother has been charged with neglect following the death of her toddler. Sophie Ego is facing 2 counts of neglect of a dependent resulting in death and 3 additional counts of neglect of a dependent. New court documents suggest her 22-month-old son was extremely emaciated and malnourished and had been dead for a significant amount of time when police responded to the home last Wednesday. When officers arrived, police say Sophie and her son Jasper were lying in the driveway. Officers tried to provide medical assistance to the child, but they quickly realized the child was dead. The coroner's office is now working to determine the toddler's exact cause of death. And the Marion County Prosecutor's Office is filing charges against a 21-year-old man connected to a triple shooting late Saturday night. Police say Carlos Contreras shot 3 people at a car meetup at near 56 in Georgetown on the northwest side. They say officers chased the suspect when he took off in a car. They arrested him after he crashed. He now faces multiple charges, including 3 counts of attempted murder. We have the other charges listed right now on WTHR.com. IMPD now tells us a 3rd shooter is still on the loose in connection to a mass shooting over the weekend. 2 people were killed in this and 5 others injured near 38th and Eagle Creek Parkway. Police now say one of the men killed was the primary shooter. They believe that man was shot and killed by another individual he was shooting towards. The second man who died is not believed to have been a shooter, but may have been an unintentional target. IMPD says it started with a fight in the parking lot of a liquor store, and then it ended in gunfire. Police say they're working to identify the 3rd shooter involved, and they're asking anyone with info to come forward. A Fort Wayne police officer is in the hospital this afternoon after being stabbed while responding to a call. Officers were called to an apartment building just before 6 last night. Then minutes later, they called for immediate assistance after the officer was stabbed. Well, police say officers fired at the suspect, hitting them. Their condition unknown at this time. The suspect and officer were taken to the hospital, and at last check, the officer was listed in serious condition. Any officers who fired their weapons will be placed on administrative leave, which is department protocol. Well, an Indianapolis man is spending the next year in prison after a 3-year-old boy got a hold of his gun and shot himself. It happened in the Department of Public Works parking lot in August of 2024. And that's when the boy's mom was in the car with her son and 3 other kids picking up Antrean Rice from work. Rice told police he put his gun on the floor and got out to play with the kids. And that's when Rice said the boy got the gun. The boy has had at least 4 surgeries since the shooting. Rice will also serve 1 year on community corrections as part of a plea deal. The boy's mom is scheduled to go on trial in November for neglect of a dependent, resulting in serious injury. And we're learning another man will spend the next 45 years in jail after pleading guilty to murder and attempted murder. All of this stemming from a shooting in January of 2023. Jeremiah Hubbard shot and killed 20-year-old Brian Ward Jr. This case gained a lot of attention because of Hubbard's prior criminal record. It includes Hubbard's arrest 4 days earlier at the same apartment for having a gun illegally.